Robert, you're no longer part of the workforce. Natalie, what? What do you mean? You've been fired? I've dedicated 2 decades to this company. Under my leadership for years, I've remained true to my principles while working here. Then one day, my husband casually informed me that I'd been let go following my father-in-law's death. They claimed this decision was made because Vanessa was going to take over. I objected, pointing out that even if Vanessa were in charge, the company still needed someone to manage the accounts. Shockingly, I learned that Vanessa's boyfriend was going to fill that role, rendering me redundant. In disbelief, I questioned the logic behind it. As I was trying to process the news, Vanessa haughtily asserted that I should know my place, especially given my perceived arrogance, which she considered alien to the company. With a sarcastic tone, she added that I should enjoy my new life as an unemployed person. Upon Vanessa's return, I felt not only excluded as a member of the family, but also unappreciated for the 2 decades I had devoted to the company. My father-in-law, though not one for public praise, would adopt my suggestions if he thought they would benefit the company. But, with Vanessa viewing me as an enemy, I doubted things would change under her leadership. I realized then that I no longer felt a sense of belonging to the company. I resigned myself to the situation and wished Daniel and the others well in ensuring the company's survival before deciding to leave. My name is Natalie. I was good at managing finances, studied accounting at university, and landed a job as an accountant at a large company. During my time there, I met Daniel, who was younger than me. We first met at a bar, and Daniel told me he was helping his parents with their recycling project. Unlike my colleagues who were focused on their careers, talking to Daniel, who seemed a little hesitant, was a refreshing change. Over time, Daniel and I started going out for drinks, and he began to open up about his family life. He highlighted his sister, Vanessa, in particular, a high-spirited woman who wouldn't settle for anything less than excellence. Despite studying business administration at university, Vanessa had chosen to work for a regular company, distancing herself from the family recycling project. She considered it too simple and unimpressive to share with her friends, and felt it wasn't good enough for her. Although Daniel sometimes seemed annoyed when discussing Vanessa's independence, it was clear he had deep feelings for her. As we shared stories about our families, our relationship deepened. After a while of dating, Daniel proposed. I couldn't imagine my life without him, so I said yes right away. But he had a request for our future together. Natalie, he said, once we're married, I want you to quit your current job and help me with the family business, the recycling business. My mother manages the accounts, but she hasn't formally studied the field. You're an expert in this area, aren't you? I want you to take charge of our finances. I was feeling a bit overwhelmed by my job at a large company, so the idea of contributing to a family business seemed appealing. I decided to leave my position. Soon after we were married, I started working as an accountant at Daniel's father's company. While reviewing the financial records, I discovered numerous errors made by my mother-in-law, who lacked formal accounting training. Determined to rectify the situation, I began cleaning up the records and conducting a thorough audit of the company's finances. As I delved deeper, I gained a comprehensive understanding of the recycling business and identified opportunities to cut costs and increase sales. Eager to discuss cost-cutting plans and business strategies, I presented my proposals to Daniel. After a quick review of the materials I had prepared, he approved them. I began, Daniel, I have something I want to discuss with you. With this business plan, our sales should increase. He replied, I'll tell my parents too. My proposal was adopted, and I threw myself into implementing the cost-cutting measures and the new business plan, often sacrificing sleep for the company. Thanks to these efforts, the company's performance steadily improved, allowing us to hire new employees. As the company flourished, the local community began to take notice. Through active community engagement, our business transformed into a community-serving store. Time flew by, and before I knew it, 2 decades had passed since I joined the company. During this time, the affection of the employees and the local residents for me grew. Despite my tireless efforts for the company, Daniel and his wife's family didn't seem to fully appreciate my commitment. One local woman expressed concern, wondering if I was working too hard and taking enough vacation time. Daniel dismissed her concerns, saying that I was passionate about my work and had few hobbies, making vacation time unnecessary. The woman suggested, I've known this company since my father Daniel's time, but its growth is largely thanks to Natalie, isn't it? You should at least give her a substantial bonus. Daniel replied, she's my wife, so she doesn't need a bonus. The company's income is enough for her. Despite the concerns of those around me, I found satisfaction in my work and the relationships I built in the community. The lack of vacations or bonuses didn't bother me. What did worry me was Daniel's frequent nighttime outings. One day I asked him, Daniel, you seem to be going out a lot at night lately. Where are you going? I'm working, expanding my network. If it's work, can't you do it during the day? Stop complaining. I have my own way of doing things. You're just an accountant. You'd better keep quiet, he retorted, walking further away from the house. Despite my unease, I reassured him. If there's any problem at work, please let me know. Okay, I understand, Daniel replied, clearly annoyed, as he walked even further away. One day, I received a phone call at home from the warehouse of one of our business partners. The caller informed me of a terrible accident. Richard, my father-in-law, who had come to collect goods, had suddenly collapsed and was rushed to the hospital. Due to the severity of his injuries from the fall, he passed away, plunging the company into a period of profound grief. Many of our business partners and members of the local community attended his solemn funeral. After a long absence, Vanessa, who had moved out on her own after securing a job, returned and was astonished by the magnitude of the tragedy. This company seemed to be on the verge of bankruptcy, she exclaimed aloud. When did it grow so big? It's all thanks to Natalie, explained one of the employees. She saved the company, increased the profit margin, and expanded the business. When profits grew, she suggested redistributing them to us, which boosted our morale. Seeing Natalie work so hard inspires us to follow her example. During the funeral, Vanessa seemed upset that the employees were praising me and ignoring her. In her eyes, a small company's slight improvement in performance wasn't worth all the fuss. Whenever Vanessa saw me, she treated me like a servant. Natalie, I'm a little thirsty, she said. Could you get me a cold drink? Hurry up. I can make tea if you like, I offered. I said I wanted something cold. You probably don't understand because you worked for a small company, but in big companies, the boss's word is law. But I don't think you're my boss, she said. Don't get bogged down in details, she retorted condescendingly. In our family hierarchy, I'm above you. After the funeral, Vanessa summoned Daniel and my mother-in-law into a room. Daniel, Mom, I'd like to discuss our future as a family. Please come in, she said, looking at me coldly as I stood next to Daniel. This is a family discussion, so Natalie, you're not welcome here. I watched, stunned, as Vanessa led Daniel and her mother into another room, leaving me on the sidelines. An hour later, Daniel casually informed me that he had decided to hand the company over to his sister, Vanessa. Shocked and bewildered, I inquired about the outcome of the family discussion, only to learn that it had revolved around the selection of a new CEO following their father's death. Daniel, who lacked the assertiveness to take on the role, and their mother, who preferred to remain out of the public eye, had reluctantly accepted Vanessa's offer to become CEO. However, Vanessa had never been involved with the company before. Concerned, I voiced my doubts, but were met with dismissive responses. To keep me out of the family business, after having fought for it and dedicated 2 decades to the company, I was abruptly told, "You're no longer employed by us." What do you mean you're fired? Even if Vanessa takes over, someone will still be needed to manage the accounts, won't they? To my astonishment, I was informed that Vanessa's boyfriend would be handling the accounts, rendering my presence redundant. Vanessa returned, and she treated me not only like a stranger in the family, but also belittled my 2 decades of dedication to the company as if it were worthless. I was stripped of my job, and all my hard work and sacrifices felt like they had been in vain. Although my father-in-law never publicly praised me, he always acknowledged the value of my suggestions to the company. With Vanessa, who saw me as an enemy at the helm, I knew things would never be the same. I no longer felt any connection to the company, so I decided to leave. Well, I wish you the best of luck at work, I said to Daniel before starting a new chapter of my life at home after saying goodbye. A few months later, Vanessa and Daniel visited me at my home, inquiring about the company's performance since my departure. Vanessa, what's going on? I asked them, puzzled. What do you mean, what's going on? Vanessa accused me. Our company's performance has declined since you left. You didn't hand things over properly, did you? I replied. I handed over the bare minimum. Why do you think performance has declined? Have you reviewed the monthly expenses? You need to calculate the difference between revenue and expenses accurately, or you'll incur losses. Vanessa responded, I always have. I studied management, unlike you. Isn't the fundamental problem the way the company is being run? I said, even if everything is fine, if you're going to say so, then tell us what you've done. I remained silent. Daniel spoke patiently. Natalie must be bored of staying at home. If you help the company, I'll give you an allowance. So come back. Although I had previously been harshly dismissed, his sudden change of heart, his desire to bring me back as the company's fortunes declined, baffled me. I don't want to go back to that company anymore. I refused. Upon hearing my words, Vanessa erupted in anger. What? You're a full-time housewife. How dare you refuse like that? Don't you care about our family business? You're the one who doesn't care about the company. And I'm the CEO now. How can I not care? Weren't you the one who initially said the company was ordinary and boring? You only accepted the position because the title CEO sounded appealing and something you could flaunt. Don't act so arrogantly, I retorted defiantly. Vanessa defended herself. On what basis do you make these accusations? Your friend Brandon told me during the handover. So what? Whatever the reason, you saved the company when there was no successor, Vanessa asserted. I think the current decline is down to you, Vanessa. What do you mean? While I'm at home during the day, I often hear gossip from regular customers in the neighborhood. They've seen you and Zach shopping and even traveling during work hours. Those were business trips, Vanessa explained. In the 20 years I've worked there, I've never seen a single accountant travel on business. Can you tell me exactly which clients you were meeting with? She asked. Why should I tell you? You don't work for us. Your friend Zach is a real chatterbox. During the handover, he bragged that he could travel and shop with company money now that his girlfriend was CEO. I revealed. Vanessa's face darkened with anger as she realized she'd been caught. Brandon, he's a chatterbox. Employees aren't going to follow a CEO who appoints her boyfriend as accountant and misuses company funds. Isn't the problem with you and your boyfriend? I glared at Vanessa. Vanessa, is this true? If so, it's embezzlement. Daniel shouted. It's not. She's just making things up, Vanessa countered. Then let's look at the books, I suggested. Zach seemed to lack accounting knowledge, so he probably wouldn't know how to cover things up. I was certain there was evidence of misuse. Vanessa paled at the suggestion, and seeing her reaction, Daniel began to accuse her. Appointing you as CEO was a mistake. I'm going to tell my mother about this and demand you be fired. No, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Please forgive me, Vanessa pleaded and left, feeling ashamed. Daniel turned to me desperately. Natalie, we need your help to save the company. Please come back. Like I said before, I have no intention of returning, I said firmly. But aren't we married? Our relationship as a couple is over, I declared, handing Daniel the divorce papers. What are you saying? If you get a divorce without coming back to work, you'll be the one in trouble. How do you plan to live? Don't worry about me. I showed Daniel the job posting from the large company I used to work for. After I was laid off, I'd been looking for work. I discovered that a former colleague had moved into human resources. She remembered my performance and recommended me for rehiring. That doesn't mean we need a divorce, Daniel countered. There's a reason for a divorce. I've been concerned about your late returns home since before your father died, so I hired an investigation agency to look into you. Over the past few months, I've found plenty of evidence of your extramarital affairs. I produced a photograph of Daniel meeting with an unknown woman. I said, what is this? Adultery is a valid reason for divorce, so I will demand alimony. Faced with this irrefutable evidence, Daniel had no choice but to agree to my terms. He signed the divorce papers and the alimony agreement. With the two documents in hand, I packed my belongings and left the house. Later, Daniel and his mother fired Vanessa and made Daniel president of the company. At the same time, they fired Zach, and his mother took over the accounting department, as she had done before. After being fired, Vanessa tried to find another job, but her high expectations made it difficult. She now seems to be working part-time and has become the laughingstock of her friends. It appears that Zach was only with Vanessa for her money. As soon as she started working part-time, he moved on to another woman, and they quickly broke up. With Daniel, who lacked leadership skills, and his mother, who had no accounting experience, in charge, the company's performance deteriorated. Employees began resigning, and the company eventually went bankrupt. Daniel and his mother were drowning in debt. I heard that Daniel's mistress disappeared when she learned of his bankruptcy. Daniel, who had never worked for a company before, could only find part-time jobs and struggled to pay off his debts. He even had to care for his elderly mother, who was unable to work even part-time, making life very difficult for him. On the other hand, I've regained my previous skills and am working efficiently at the large company. My former colleagues appreciate my return, and I'm deservedly rewarded for my efforts. Thanks to the recognition and praise I receive, I've realized once again that my best place is where my needs are met. I pledge to continue working hard to meet the expectations of those around me.
अंधेरी दीवारों में खुद को ढूंढता हूँ मैं गए जो दिन सहाने थे उन्हीं को सोचता हूँ मैं तुम्हारे बिन ये मौसम भी बड़ा बेसर्द लगता है दिल का हर एक कोना अब बहुत ही दूर भरता है अंधेरी दीवारों में खुद को ढूंढता हूँ मैं गए जो दिन सुहाने थे उन्हीं को सोचता हूँ मैं तुम्हारे बिन ये मौसम भी बड़ा सर्द लगता है दिल एक बार मुड़ के देख ले मेरी बेबसी की सूरत। मुझे है आज भी तेरी वफा की सख्त जरूरत। साए मेरे तन्हा सफर बस रह गया दर्द का असर। साए मेरे तन्हा सफर बस रह गया दर्द का असर।